Okay, thank you, Tom. We'll go on to the second reading of the budget amendment. Court's already approved on first reading and advertised for second reading. The budget amendment. Need a motion to approve on second reading and adoption. Get that. Motion by Jerry Hahn, second by Jeff Lear. All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove, and motion will carry. Next would be surplus equipment and vehicles. You guys got a master list I sent out, looks like this, and John Greenwald added a pretty picture here of 3 other pieces of equipment. And Keith, you brought up this morning to me another piece.
Yeah, there's an air unit that we took off the jail and it's sitting down at the road department. It's been sitting there for about a year. I can't see us using it anywhere. I'd like to go on and add it to the surplus.
Air handler, basically. Okay, you know where it is.
Where's the dump truck at?
Road department.
Where's it in the sheet? I didn't see that road.
I don't know. Should be around. That's the red one. It's got a red cab on it.
It's the one
We bought it used originally,
Yeah, Scotty's
I didn't see
truck.
it no more.
and then we replaced it with that.
It was a
new-
second hand we bought.
With the white truck we just bought.
Yeah.
It's time to let it go.
That new truck, it looks like it's doing good.
The white one?
White one?
Correct. So far.
The GMC?
Yeah.
Need a motion to,
Judge, we
yes.
also have a jail car, jail cruiser sitting down at the jail.
Jill Cruiser, can you
Yeah.
send me the VIN number on that?
I sure can, it's been there for probably almost 2 years, it's wrecked.
Is it a Crown Vic?
I think so.
You okay with adding that to the list?
Yes.
Yes.
Need a motion to declare this property surplus and advertise as surplus and receive either sealed bids or an auction.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Sam Hutchins, second by Bernard Ice. Any further discussion? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove, and motion will carry. Thank you, folks. I don't know how that accumulates. Short period of time. I haven't had an auction for a year, they'll have it.
Every year we do that.
Yeah.
Need that.
Um, Planning Commission recommendations, I put that on the agenda. I have not gone through it in detail yet, but be aware that there are some zoning regulation amendments that have been proposed. They're in your packet. Read those between now and the next court meeting. I plan to at least bring those. I have not digested them. I'll sit it on the committee. Bernard and I sit on the committee. Jeff, you did, I think, one of the meetings. And I want to digest them and make sure we're all going down the same path.
What's the purpose of this, Jan?
Which ones?
The craft beer.
We established the craft distillery conditional use permit because
From 50,000 gallon to 500,000?
Well, there's 2 different types now. And the original conditional use permit was based on the state's craft Class B distiller's license because we really didn't have anything to go by. There's really no definition of a craft distillery. It's nationwide, it's kind of all over the place. And it's really based on what every community wants. So what the committee has done and the planning commission has made the recommendation on is now to divide it into 2 types of craft distilleries. B2, which is the central business districts for all of the cities, would be type 1, which would still allow a craft distillery of 50,000 gallons or less, which is less than 1,000 barrels. Anything for B3, B4, B5, and LIP would allow type 2, and that would allow you to go up to 500,000 gallons. Now, keep in mind, all of these distilleries are not standalone distilleries. They would have to be associated with a restaurant, a bar, another type of tourist event facility, something like that. So it couldn't be a standalone distillery. They would still be limited to limited storage, on-site storage, basically 4 barrels on-site during a 24-hour period. Everything else has to be stored off-site. So this was to, we have a craft distillery that has come and applied for an I-2 zoning. At the Hillbilly Heaven property. I-2, the Planning Commission found that that's not appropriate in that location based on neighborhood issues. And so the Planning Commission asked that the committee review and come up with a different definition for conditional use permit. And that would allow that property to remain as B3 retail business, but accommodate a craft distillery up to 500,000 gallons.
And bear in mind, I'm not gonna use names, but some of our larger distilleries would do about 2 million gallons a year. Understand the difference between a smaller
It's about
distillery,
500,000.
about 25% of what one of our larger distilleries would make was classified as a Bardstown Bourbon Company would not.
Luxco would.
I'm not gonna, I don't want to get into names, but.
Well, I mean, but this would be the only one,
Proprietary.
there'd only be one at this point that we would have applying for that condition.
But I just got these like Thursday or Friday, I think, and I just.
The other two are in the agricultural zoning only in the county, and that was to create a conditional use permit to have the bourbon warehouses, distilled spirit storage facilities on tracts between 50 and 100 acres. You'll remember we changed the rules to let them on a tract over 100 acres as a permitted use. This would require them to have a conditional use permit and go through a public hearing, which would give notification to the adjoining property owners and allow them to be on tracts between 50 and 100 acres in the A1 zone. And then the other change was to, we had on the event facilities in the ag zone, we had allowed them to do 300-person occupancy, but a maximum 2,500 square foot building. Well, that occupancy and the building size weren't matching, so we're increasing the building size to accommodate that 300 people. So 4,500 square foot building.
City's already approved on their side, haven't they?
The city is not approved, that goes, I think, next week.
Okay.
So they
I do plan on guys bringing it to our next board meeting in an ordinance form for you guys. Okay, any questions? Thanks, Jan, for being here.
Thank you, Jan.
EMS report.
My report that the sheriff's office, we completed training for their CPR, bloodborne pathogen, and naloxone training Friday. All the deputies are equipped with the naloxone or Narcan overdose kit. As a matter of fact, one of the deputies responded to a victim over the weekend and did administer the Narcan to the victim that he responded to. So we've already seen a positive from that training for the sheriff's office. That's all I have.
Okay. Jail report, Dorcas.
Okay, today we have a total of 149 inmates. We have 2 in Hardin County. We have 4 on home incarceration. We have 44 state inmates. We have 5 serving weekends, so we got an in-house total of 138. For January, our daily average controlled intake, we had 602 man days. That was 19 a day. Class D's was 546 man days. That's a total average of 17 a day. Nelson County was 3,270 man days. So we averaged 102 out of Nelson County. So our total for daily average for January was 142 a day. New arrests and releases for January. The arrivals, males, we had 144. We had 72 females. That was a total of 216. Releases, we had 145 males, 69 females. That's a total of 214. Sentenced inmates out of district court. We have 4. We also have 2 serving weekends. This is all out of district. We have 24 waiting for court. Of course, today is court day. We have 4 that's on home incarceration. We have 1 that's sentenced to jail, but he's doing work release. On our state inmates, we have 23 controlled intake, 18 Class Ds. We have 1 that's serving weekends out of circuit court, which makes he'll be a state. He is a state. We have 5 that's performing community service. Work release, we have 3, and then we have 2 that is sentenced to do jail time out of circuit court. We have 1 out of drug court. We have 67 out of circuit waiting for court. So we have a total of 91 that has not been sentenced. That's all I have to report.
Landfill solid waste report.
Mulkey audit was supposed to start February 27th, next Monday, and I will begin basically everything east of 31E and 49. That'll be the Botland, Potter Shop, Greer Lane, towards Chaplin, including High Grove and Fairfield areas. Next, after it'll be each area 2 weeks, so then 2 weeks after that, it'll be basically everything south of Bluegrass Parkway and west of 49 49, and everything through New Hope and Hartstown. And then third, basically everything east of 31E and north of Bluegrass Parkway. That includes Highway 62 and 245.
Same route as it was last year.
And during that time, the landfill will be opened up for bulk yard to pick up. And we're gonna go ahead and start that this week since we have nice weather. If anybody wants to go on and bring stuff out this week, you're more than welcome to. Second, Hayden Materials presented a overburden contract to have excess soil material to be brought over to the Magnet properties. I believe you guys have a copy of that to look at.
You can guess a copy of that. Do you want to try to get court approved of that today?
With Matthew's blessing.
I thought we were gonna let them think about it and come back next week, but
That's fine.
Have you checked it over?
I've looked at it, I haven't digested all, because it's coming like two or three different.
Need more time?
Yeah, and then there was
It's-
one.
Overall, though, it is good. There was some question on the, number one, the insurance, you got that in the contract. And number two, it was the quantities, I think you clarified that.
Clarified that. Then they had some verbiage in there about charging rent. There is no rent. There is no exchange.
I seen where you
between the
yellowed
two.
that out with me.
Right. I guess, could we approve it? I think you guys have done this in the past, where you give Dean the right to sign the contract.
Pending Matthews review.
Correct. That way it's not coming back in front of you guys, again, unless you guys have an issue with it. I know we've all generally discussed it.
Give me a quick overview. We're gonna get to use the dirt at the landfill only
Correct,
for our cover-up,
correct.
any amount that we need.
Any amount that is placed upon the management farm. So they'll have excess overburden, is what they call it, and they need a place to store it.
For the media, you understand what we're talking about, Randy? It's basically, I don't think, you weren't here when the rock quarry was rezoned. There's a rock quarry has been placed close to our landfill. As part of that, they've got to strip off a lot of soil. And they want to store that soil out, kind of out of their way, and we've agreed in principle to allow them to store that soil for the use of some of the soil ourselves to make the landfill cover. We have to use a lot of dirt on the landfill site to keep the varmints out, and called daily cover. And so in doing so, the public benefits by this overburden being brought over, and we're able to use that. We don't have to use our own soil, which we've got several farms we do that with. But this will allow us some access to some free soil. But in the same token, they've got the right to get what they want out of it as it's needed.
So any soil that's brought over onto the manual property, it's basically first come, first served. There is no limit to what they store over outside of a pure volume that they can physically fit there. But if we need it, we use it. If they need it, they come and get it.
They're responsible for their service road.
Correct.
Taking care of that.
And the initial sediment control issues and
Yes.
erosion issues, and there's a plan that will be submitted for that. Then if we disturb those areas, we're responsible for fixing them back. If they disturb those areas, they're responsible for fixing them back. It's a good product.
Good product.
that we're
We
gonna
need the
get.
product,
Oh, 100%.
yeah.
I think the issue I address, when they get on with it, they report back as near as possible.
Well, they're gonna do some clearing on it, aren't they?
Correct.
Because they're gonna have to take a lot of trees off?
Some,
Some.
that's the reason it needs to be done before. You guys know about the Indiana bat.
Yeah.
And it's for all Kentucky, and you have to clear any trees by March 31st. If you go past March 31st, you can do
You
tree
gotta
tree
wait
clearing, you just
next
gotta do a survey
You got to do a survey.
to prove there's no bats roosting in that area. So the goal would be to try to do any
I
tree
take it
clearing.
black buzzards don't count.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The trees long.
Figure Randy's out.
Is the trees loggable?
No, they're
They're
all
all
scrub trees.
I'm worried, that's one of my big questions.
A lot of the trees actually clearing on their property. I mean, where the property line is.
So, court, I would entertain a motion to approve pending review from the legal.
And you and
Yeah, I think
Authorize me to sign.
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion, second by Jerry Hahn, in that discussion, Keith.
No, it's fine. As long as Matthew approves
You
it,
guys approve it.
I'm okay with it.
Let's do it. whatever.
All approve, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove, the motion will carry. Anything else, John?
We did get our pump station up and running. We had issues with last time. We got that working and everything is good to go. We did have our state inspection last week and everything was okay. Everything was good.
Yeah. Road department report.
Okay, no more. We went over into District 5 for 2 days until we broke something again. hose one time, and I think the next day it was some bolts on the bottom of it. You know, the Boom Moore's getting some age on it, so those type of things are gonna happen some. If any of you guys have farmed the bush hog, you know how rough it is on it, so we'll fight it as we can. Of course, getting ready to go into bulky items, so that's gonna shut down us basically for 6 weeks. The grader crew, rock cold mix shoulders on Woodlawn Road and Whiteside Road. We did an entrance on Sullivan Lane. I sent them out to the industrial park. We have retention basins down there, guys. When we built the industrial park, we did that to help protect the runoff and slow it down that goes into Mill Creek. We had to go and trim trees off of it, shrubs. You're not allowed to let trees grow in dams, of course, so we did that one a couple of days. Cul-de-sac on Hugh Ice Loop to try to get for a school bus turnaround. That was a good project. Hauling dirt out to the soccer fields for Tyler, and he'll get into that in a minute. I actually had a rock slide on Bennett's Lane 2 weeks ago today, I think is when it was, something like that. 2 big old boulders
Big
come
one,
out,
bigger-
I mean, big ones.
Yes.
So we had to rent a whole round, bust that up, even the movement, they were that big.
Then you put it on the opposite side to help shoulder up the
Yeah,
road.
shoulder up. Actually turned out really good when we beat them up, you know.
Yeah, it looked
rocks
good.
That big, and it looked really good. Keith got that work done on Quarry Loop and Bowling Pike Lane
Looks
for you.
good.
That's it. Did that cross drain on Borders, Sam. Got it done at Cornish Lane. So, getting ready for bulky item room.
Okay, thank you, Brent. Under old new business, just to let you know, our Feeding America program is tomorrow at the Bardstown Y Club. Oh yeah, I didn't put you on the list.
You're all right.
Here, I'm trying to spare you because, you know, your last 2 meetings, you haven't had a report to give, a report, but if you do have a report, please let's have it. Other than the dirt, he took your thunder too, by the way. The only thing you had on the report, he took.
Brad and them were hauling out dirt for the new soccer field that they're going to start on here soon. And soccer's going to add irrigation, and we're going to do that field like they did on the top field. And then we're starting to mark soccer fields. Soccer starts, I think, March 4th. And so we're starting to paint them.
Soccer's paying for that irrigation, guys, so you all know that. They have funds to do that. They're actually helping fund this dirt project that they wanted, so they're being good stewards and participating in projects like that. They're just in a position they can do that.
I think we finally getting them lined out there where
They
participate back.
We got some good
They're a good bunch. They're all good, don't get me wrong, all volunteers are good. They
The
just,
other
they're
end has
different.
been skeptical.
Feeding program, I'll change the subject.
We're getting that like tonight.
Change the subject, is tomorrow, and the next month, Sam and Bernard and his groups from the Farm Bureau groups, including the Beef Cow Association, and all the different farm groups come together and help us on that, so appreciate that, Sam. Magistrates, under old new business, you have anything you want to bring up that needs to be discussed? Anybody else have anything? Otherwise, entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Jeff Lear, is there a second? By Bernard Ice. Any further discussion? All approved, say aye. Disapproved? Motion will carry. Thank you all.